I am a very vivid dreamer. I am also an interactive dreamer. During my junior high school years, I attended a slumber party. We watched movies and slept in sleeping bags on the floor. Sometime during that night, my friend's mom heard some talking coming from the basement at an insanely early hour. A little irritated, she went downstairs to investigate. One of my friends and I were talking to each other. But as my friend's mom got closer, she realized that what we were saying didn't make any sense. What's weirder is that when she told us to be quiet, we both said, okay, in a very strange way, and both of us started snoring. My friend's mom asked us about it the next morning. Neither of us could remember anything about it, but everybody got a good laugh out of my friend's mom telling us all about it. I didn't mind being laughed at for that. Who knew that two people could sleep talk together like that? I am known for doing a lot more than sleep talking. As a younger kid, I had a dream that my family was at a campout. My dad was driving us to a lake to go fishing, but when we crossed an extra rickety bridge, our fishing boat fell off of the top of the truck, landed in the river below, and was floating away. We all jumped out of the truck and started chasing the boat. I was a fast runner in real life. In my dream, I was the only one who could keep up with the boat. There was a hill next to the river. I ran up that hill like a speed demon. From that vantage point, I could see my family. I shouted its position as I pointed at the boat. My dad shouted that I should stay with it. I looked down at the river. The boat had gotten ahead of me. It meandered through a deep canyon surrounded by cliffs. I ran up above to catch up to it again. But as I did so, I tripped over a rock and fell head first down the cliff. As I fell, I screamed. Wah! 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 I woke up every single person in the house because I wasn't just screaming in my dream. Sometimes I don't want dreams to end. Sometimes my dreams are so awesome that it's a real disappointment to wake up from them. I had a dream in high school that I was at a dance with a girl of my, dreams. In the dream, I couldn't believe that I was at the dance with her. After one of the dances, she asked me if I wanted a soda. I said yes, and she said she'd get me one. I waited for her as she went to go get the sodas. On the way, she met a popular guy at my school and talked to him. I saw them talking, but I couldn't hear the conversation. She got us both drinks and came back to me. Here you go, she said. I said thank you. Standing beside me, she said, oh, by the way, you can go home now. What? I asked, confused. She said that the guy she had just talked to would be taking her home, and that I didn't need to stay at the dance anymore. I became upset. The guy she had talked to approached. He said, didn't you hear her? She said you can leave now. I'm the one that brought her here, I shouted at him. I'm going to make sure that she gets home safe. He smiled wryly and devilishly at me, and then punched me in the face with such force that I fell to the ground. Everybody in the room was laughing at me. As I lay there on the floor taking it all in, I got so upset that I rose up from the floor as a human-sized dragon. I grabbed the guy by the arms and threw him across the floor. I leapt into the air and smashed through the roof. I soared high above the high school and dove back through the ceiling, making a second hole. I landed on the dance floor, growling and snarling. Everybody was running for the exits. I sent fire, chasing them on their way out. I torched the gym and then leapt into the air again, smashing through the ceiling for a third time. I was circling high overhead, watching the students pour out of the school and into the parking lot. When I saw a line of cop car lights approaching the school, I knew what I was going to do next. I said tauntingly, oh, come and get me. As the cop cars drew near, I readied myself to descend upon them in holy terror. But I was so excited about it that I started to wake myself up. No, not yet, I thought to myself desperately, and I woke up from the dream. I was disappointed for days. After I got married and became a father, I had a dream that I was in a strange, dimly lit house. I was a part of a secret group of people, discussing some very important plans for our next mission. I don't remember what the group's purpose was, or what we were plotting to do, because someone shouted, there's intruders outside of the house. I ran over to a wall of surveillance screens. Sure enough, one of the cameras picked up some silhouettes of people hiding among some tall pine trees. I'll take care of this, I shouted to my co-conspirators. I got out of the house and snuck up to the trees. I could hear the intruders whispering to each other. They were just a bunch of teenagers with rolls of toilet paper. I decided that I just wanted to scare them away, and I suddenly thought of a really great way to do it. I moaned quietly. What was that? One of the teenagers whispered. I levitated from the ground about halfway up the trees. I repeated. Another teenager pointed at me and shouted, look, up there, it's a ghost. I sang loudly as I rose above the treetops with frightening authority. I was glowing with light that was turning into a dreadful bonfire. Suddenly, I heard a voice say, "Honey, honey, wake up! Are you okay?" I woke up to my wife shaking me very fervently. "What's wrong?" I asked. "What's going on?" "You were moaning like a ghost," she said. I responded with profound realization. "Oh no, it's a good thing that you woke me up." "Why?" she asked. I explained my dream to her and how I was pretending to be a ghost. I told her about how I had risen above the trees over the teenagers. And then I said, I was about to rain holy terror down on them like a banshee. As fun as it would have been to finish that dream, I was glad that I didn't end up scaring my wife and kids like I was about to do to those teenagers.